Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where I have never cussed so much on Twitter than I did during Omega versus Moxley at Full Gear. This is Lost in the Midcard. Welcome. As Full Gear is now in the rearview mirror, we're going to talk about our thoughts on the Dynamite go-home show, which was a great go-home show, the way you do a go-home show, I should say, followed by a very good pay-per-view, maybe the best pay-per-view AEW has done. We'll discuss that and much more, but first, thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes, Spotify, and any of your favorite podcasting apps. All you got to do is search for Lost in the Midcard, hit that subscribe button, that way you know every time a new episode comes your way every Wednesday. You can also subscribe to us on the YouTube, and all those links are on our Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/lostinthe-midcard, or you can go to our Twitter at LITMC Podcast, where we also share a lot of the great tweets from the wrestling world. We do have a new segment we're trying to get a little growth on. It's our LITMC mailbag. If you want to get in on that, make sure you email litmcpodcast@gmail.com, and the three of us will answer your questions that you may have. I'm your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JBHuskers. As always, my co-host, he is on the Twitter at RawFShowtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing?
Better than anybody that had to sit through that Rusev, Lana, and Lashley storyline last night.
Oh my God, have you heard Rusev toe the company line on his thoughts?
I can't even, man.
Did you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I saw it. There's no way he can believe what he's saying.
No.
There's no possible way that man believes the shit that's coming out of his mouth. He's legitimately just trying to go along to get along with the company, and he's got to be counting down the days till his deal's up.
Mm-hmm.
Because and I get why he's doing it. You know, the last thing you want to do is for the storyline to become even worse than you're already involved in. So if you go online and you bitch about it, it's only going to get worse for you. Look at Mike Kanellis. So I get why he's doing it, but I don't believe in my heart of hearts that there's any way that he thinks this is good.
Has Mike Kanellis found his balls yet?
I think Mike Kanellis is just waiting for them to fucking release him. That's probably never going to happen.
Yeah. Also, that other voice you heard, he is on the Twitter at No One Like D, Mr. Daryl Bullock. Daryl, how you doing?
AEW. I've had a fantastic weekend full of wrestling, and yeah, I'm feeling fantastic. To piggyback off what Matt said, I didn't watch it as soon as I saw Lana come to the ring. I cut it off.
That was probably the smartest thing you could have done.
Let's just say I watched, or let's just say I did the speed reading of Raw and SmackDown this week, which is usually the case with it being taped. I mean, there were some cool spots, but I mean, overall, those are two missable shows. And I sped read through those and watched most of Full Gear a second time. So
that's probably the best thing you could have done.
Yeah, I think it might have been their best pay-per-view of all of them so far. Every single thing that they've done, including All In. I think from top to bottom, that is. I think this show was, there were some things that had little build to them, but still, it was, I think, a good enough reason to have a match, like with Shawn Spears and Joey Janela. I mean, those two guys have been performing really well for the company, so I think it was more let's create something real quick and then to get them on the pay-per-view, which is for guys that deserve to be on a pay-per-view. I don't mind not having a huge backstory.
It was very WCW-esque.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is the best way I could describe it. The undercard did not have a lot of build, but the matches were good.
Mm-hmm.
And then the main event, quote-unquote main event matches had all the build and they all delivered. I do think AEW will learn to benefit in the long run to make sure everything has more heat. going into their pay-per-views, but I'm not going to fault great wrestling matches on my pay-per-view.
Do you think?
So,
I mean, we're gonna go back to Dynamite. I mean, we're gonna go through that real quick and just talk about the Go Home show quickly before we get to Full Gear. But staying on the topic of Janela and Spears, do you guys prefer video packages before each match, or just get right into it?
You can only do video packages if it's a build towards it. You know what I mean?
I mean,
You can't
so
just...
do you think the general population that was watching the pay-per-view could have benefited by seeing that short video of oops, sorry, Sean. Sean
Whoa.
Spears. That short video of Sean Spears taking the pliers to Janela's tongue and then burning a cigarette on it. Do you think?
Yes,
you gotta
absolutely.
build it a little bit.
I mean, they like Excalibur and JR glossed over it a little bit, but if you didn't see it, you have no idea why this match is happening. But there was a very good reason why this match is happening.
And they can't automatically assume that everybody that's watching their weekly television and purchasing these pay-per-views are watching AEW Dark.
Well, and this wasn't even on. Was this even on Dark?
The whole storyline between Janela and Spears occurred on AEW Dark. You just proved my point.
Well, I thought the plier thing. Yeah,
they cannot assume that everybody is watching that side YouTube program. They have to. They have to educate the fan that's watching the weekly TNT show and the pay-per-view itself, the storyline going into the match. And I think Spears and Janela would have greatly benefited from a video package prior to that match, or even between the entrances of Spears and Janela. Just a quick minute video package to get everybody up to speed as to why this match is happening.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't much to it, so it wouldn't even take that. For some reason, I thought that was a separate video outside of Dark.
Nope.
With the pliers.
Nope, that was a part of Dark.
I mean, I'm watching so much wrestling, it all jumbles together, but... Dynamite's Go Home show started out with Pac and Trent. Are you guys fans of getting a good 12-minute match when you know who's gonna win and it's never in doubt? You know, we all know.
Well, I wish the finish wouldn't have gotten fucked. But I loved the match itself. So
yeah, the ref. The ref.
Which ref was that? I can't remember. Was that the new guy?
I heard it was Pac's. I heard it was Pac's fault.
Yeah, oh my god.
Okay. At one point, I guess you could put the blame on either or, the way you want to think about it.
How is it Pac's fault?
I'm gonna try to explain it. What I heard was the planned finish was one of Pac's previous finishes, where he hit the Dark Arrow and then immediately went into the submission finisher instead of going for the pinfall. The referee knew the finish, that's what that was supposed to be. So he went down for the count instead of calling it like a shoot like they do in WWE. Like they tell, if they don't kick out, you got to count to 3. The referee stopped because he knew that wasn't the planned finish. Mm-hmm. So Pac screwed up because he didn't do the planned finish, or so I've been told. Or at the same token, you can blame the referee for not treating it as a shoot and just not counting to 3 and ending the match there. I mean, either way, there's blame to go around, but I thought the match itself was excellent, and honestly, the only person you can't fault was Trent. Trent really didn't have anything wrong. So I love the match.
Oh, it was a great match. Yeah.
I blame Orange Cassidy.
I think it was Trent's best match in AEW so far.
Dude, I don't know if it was just great targeting by Pac hitting the glasses, or if Pac really did kick the fuck out of Cassidy's face. But
he did.
That looked.
He kicked the fuck out of his face.
Yeah, he did.
It was amazing.
It looked brutal. Next up, after that, we hear from Cody Rhodes, and oh man, this is probably one of the best in-ring promos I've heard in a long time. That was damn good by Cody, man.
People calling it promo of the decade, and I'm being hard pressed to argue with them.
Yeah.
Oh, I told him to his face that was straight fire.
I need to go back to YouTube, maybe after I take in some NWA Powerrr tonight. go back to YouTube and rewatch that. I'm sure AEW has just a specific. I think they chop things up and kind of like what WWE does and chop things up and put them out there.
Just watch it
standalone.
it's on demand, ain't it?
Yeah, but it might be easier just to pull up that single thing on YouTube. You know.
You lazy bum.
Yeah, you got fast forwarding and
Yeah,
shit.
bum.
You got fast forwarding and shit, and Private Party took on Dark Order. The winner gets added to make it a triple threat for the tag team titles at Full Gear. Private Party thankfully won that.
Party won.
Yeah.
Yo, they love Private Party.
As they should. They're amazing.
Yeah, that match would have been infinitely less interesting if the Dark Order was in there with the Lucha Brothers, who lost in the finals. I was kind of baffled how they were in it anyways, but I guess I could see...
Because technically you could call it the number one contender.
Yeah, because they won 2 matches to get there, so I can kind of
about wins and losses?
What do you guys think about power rankings? Do you think 5 is enough, perfect for these, and do you like them?
For a company that hasn't been around that long, I think the top 5 is more than efficient for now.
Going into Full Gear, we had Moxley at 5 at 1-0-1, Omega at 4, Hangman at 3, Pac at 2, and Cody at 1. So I think it's clear that Hangman's the next contender with Moxley at number 2.
Well, first off, not so fast.
Yeah, well,
because they're doing a rematch tonight on Dynamite between Paige and Pac.
Oh.
So
I don't know about that, brother.
They've got 2 matches announced for the show tonight.
And that's like that's the rubber match too.
They got Pac Heyman in the rubber match, and they've got Jericho and Sammy Guevara against SCU for the tag team titles.
Yep.
Yeah, that's interesting because I heard Paige isn't cleared to fight on tomorrow night.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I knew Omega and Moxley.
I had not heard that.
I knew Omega and Moxley and Cody were.
I heard Paige is not. Tony Khan said it on his thing with the media on Saturday night that Paige had a stinger. He landed. I forgot what spot it was. He landed wrong. His right arm went numb for probably half the match.
Well, you hit that damn barricade so many times.
Yeah. I heard things might have changed. Stinger's pretty much temporary, but we'll see.
I would think if he's not cleared to compete, we would have heard about it by now.
Yeah,
right.
Stingers are temporary unless you're Steve Borden. Hey-o!
Lord.
Yeah, I had to get that. And then, you look at the tag team side of things. Lucha Brothers, or Best Friends 5, Dark Order 4, Bucks 3, Party 2, and Bros 1. Yeah, I mean...
I wonder where Proud and Powerful stands since they beat the Bucks.
They might go straight from NR to number 1.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't know.
I said they would go.
The Bucks are number 3. If the Bucks are 3, they ain't gonna jump to 1.
They're gonna probably go to 3.
So Dark Order's 1.
Dark Order lost last week. They're probably
Dark Order probably just dropped right out of the top 5.
Right,
Everybody in that top 5 is lost except for the Best Friends, and the Best Friends are 2 and 3 right now.
Yeah, well, I'm saying I feel like the Dark Order could probably drop right out of the top 5.
Yeah, they haven't won shit.
And everybody in that top 5 is lost recently, very recently. And then the women, I think Britt Baker's probably going to be next in line.
Yep.
That's pretty clear. She's sitting.
But I hear they're bringing in some heavy hitters too.
Yeah.
I hope so. I feel like that's the one division in AEW right now that I feel needs the most help.
Well, you saw a little bit last week because was it AEW Dark? I believe that I
haven't watched Dark yet from last week.
Yeah, Big Swole and Mercedes Martinez.
Oh wait, I did watch some of Dark. I don't think I finished it, but I watched. No, I did watch it all. Yeah. So like I said, from
what I'm hearing, Mercedes Martinez and Big Swole are going to be with AEW.
Good deal. Another girl I like that's kind of new to the division, Jamie Hayter. She teamed up with Emi Sakura ahead of Sakura's match with Riho at Full Gear. Riho tagged with Shanna. Pretty good match there by the ladies. Bad Girls got her. I like Jamie Hayter. She's a good heel. Spears took on Cutler. That didn't last too long. Poor Brandon. Poor Brandon Cutler on BTE. Yeah, he's like Owen. He's like Owen at 20.
Dude, he's jobber to the stars. There's nothing wrong with that.
And the kids.
He lost to a kid too.
Yeah, he lost to a kid this week too.
Yeah, dude. He's getting 2 different paychecks. He's doing 2 different jobs with the company.
Yeah, we're not. He's not complaining, and we're not either.
Yeah, I really don't think he is
fun.
either. I think all in due time, if he keeps going, he'll get, his push will come. But I mean, there's really no reason to have it right now.
No, and Collar looks good in the ring. Like that over the top rope, like onto the apron leg drop, that was pretty slick, and he's looked good in the short matches that he's had. So I think when AEW has a secondary title, or maybe he forms a tag team, he's gonna eventually get some of that. But you're exactly right. There's no need.
I hope he doesn't form a tag team because they're gonna come up with a fucked up ass name.
What's that?
Interesting that we're getting mixed messages on that secondary championship from AEW as of late.
Yeah.
Because if you listen to Cody's media call before Full Gear, the way he made it sound is that a secondary singles title was probably about a month away. But Nick Jackson said today in a Q&A on Twitter that his words, the mid-card title wasn't coming anytime soon.
That's because they're probably going to surprise us.
And I'm just like, well, which one is it? Is it coming in a month, or is it not coming anytime soon?
Watch. It's probably the smoke screen, and they're going to announce a tournament for it tomorrow or tonight.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Like, I feel the roster of AEW right now could greatly benefit from a secondary title, a secondary singles title, because I could definitely see somebody like Darby Allin, Darby Allin,
Be the first.
Being the first champion. I think he would be one of the most beneficial on that roster to get it, and then he could feud with like maybe Sean Spears
or Kip Sabian
or something over
it.
Yeah,
Sabian's really starting to find his character.
There's plenty of great talent in AEW right now that could benefit from a secondary title, because everybody knows they're not going to go challenge Jericho, but give these guys something to fight for.
Yeah. I'll give you another one, Sammy Guevara.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going for the tag team titles tonight.
Yeah, shit. Okay.
They ain't gonna win, but what if?
I don't think they're gonna win either.
No,
but
what if?
But I'm talking about as a singles performer, like he would benefit big time from that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people on that roster. I think, to me, it's a no-brainer that this. As I said, I would call it the television championship.
Oh God, yes, please. Yes, please.
But I think this has to be done.
I was begging NXT to call theirs the television, but hey, I'm fine with North American. That belt's pretty cool. And then the end. I mean, that's how you do a fucking go-home show with the end of Dynamite, right?
All out ass whooping.
Insane, man. That was exciting.
Exciting is the best way to describe it. It was an exciting ending to the television show.
So we go to Full Gear in the pre-show. Britt Baker.
Hold on.
Go ahead. What do you got?
Look, if we're gonna talk about Cody's promo.
Okay. We already did. There's one of the best.
Yeah. Look, if we're
I already know where he's going.
Cody's promo, there's no way we can gloss over Chris Jericho's vignette.
Yes. Oh, making fun
that
of.
Shit was hilarious.
No way we can gloss over that vignette because it was fucking comedy gold.
Okay, real quick. Before the 23 of us, please, JB and Matt, please tell me what your favorite parts of that promo was.
Chris Jericho's potential. It's like breadsticks at the Olive Garden.
Unlimited. Yeah, that line. I
the old lady from church that said she hoped Chris Jericho was going to beat the shit out of Cody.
Yeah. The church lady cussing was great.
No. My favorite part was Hager just sitting there in front of the camera.
His comments.
Not saying anything.
His comments.
Yes, not saying a damn thing. That was hilarious.
I love the beginning. I love the beginning because it made you think like it was going to be serious, and then
well, it was a play-for-play shot off of the Cody vignette from a couple weeks ago.
It was.
Yes, it was.
And it was done so beautifully, and it was so entertaining because Cody's promo was so serious and so emotional, and then you got the opposite end of the spectrum with Jericho's vignette, and it was just so fucking hysterically funny. Chris Jericho's the youngest AEW world champion in history. Some of the lines in that freaking. Look, I know we wanted to get on the Full Gear, but I felt we would be remiss if we did not discuss
Yeah.
that incredible vignette from Wednesday night.
Guevara's comment of him being the youngest champion at age 49 was pretty fucking good.
Dude, that was hilarious, and I swear, like I'm gonna touch on it again. Jake Hager just standing in front of the camera, just staring at the camera, just had me in tears.
Let's interview Jake Hager.
Oh.
And that's all we got from Jake Hager.
That's all we got.
I like how they're not letting him talk.
I like that
because he doesn't need to talk. The dude's a killer.
Oh,
just let him be the badass muscle. Dude doesn't need to speak.
Yeah, once he starts talking, they're gonna chant "We the People," and Jericho will have to shut him up again.
All you saw was Jake Hager, the Big Hurt, and he stares at the camera.
I don't think they can get the rights to the Big Hurt.
No.
Yeah, Frank Thomas might have something to say about that.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Maybe if they buy a case of Nugenics, they might be able to use it.
Oh, Lord.
Wow.
On that note, pre-show.
Somebody needs to buy it.
What was with the pre-show? I thought it was a little weird. It was all like the first half was just all video packages, nothing live from anybody.
Well, the pre-show wasn't scheduled to go live until 7:30.
Oh.
So the first 30 minutes were really just the countdown preview show that aired on YouTube earlier that week.
I guess I was thinking that it was an hour, and it was,
I actually enjoyed the pre-show, the little videos.
I do too, but I mean we've already seen them all.
Yeah, but there's some people that might not have.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the same.
I guess
they
was.
They showed the one
we were talking about video packages.
Yeah, I was expecting. The video packages are great. I was just expecting a full-on hour pre-show. But now that I know that it was half hour, it makes sense.
I mean, I guess why I enjoyed it because when you saw Santana and Ortiz coming in New York, and then you saw the old Bucks videos. But the thing that got me was them showing Moxley at the 2300 Arena.
Yeah, that was easily my favorite part too.
Yes, because like me and Matt was there like earlier this year.
Yeah, like a year ago.
Yeah, so like it was cool as hell just to see him walking to the 2300 Arena, and that's a place of history. You know what I mean?
Britt Baker defeated B. Priestley at the on the buy-in with the great Taz and Golden Boy on the call. I don't know why they couldn't have gotten Golden Boy or Taz to join JR and Excalibur. Again, we always talk about we like the two-man booth better, but if it's just JR and Excalibur, I think a third man it does kind of warrant because JR there's times where JR doesn't know what's going on. Like he doesn't know as much of the backstory of people.
That's because JR relax. He just reacts. He tells you. He tells them don't tell him anything before the show.
Yeah, which is fine. But there's times where it looks like he doesn't know what is going on with the roster.
It is true.
I think it was.
And that's where that balance was.
A better
Shivani.
effort from the two of them.
Yeah.
Than we got a few weeks ago when they were waiting on Shivani to show up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't understand why Golden Boy wasn't out there with them, and I didn't understand, when you have brought Taz in the belt, you brought Taz to Baltimore to call one match. But I mean, I guess at the same token, Taz was already there for StarCast.
Yeah, he was.
It's not like he came in out of his way or anything.
I don't know if you had to pay him extra or whatever, but Taz would have been perfect for me.
Yeah, Taz has clearly shown that he has not lost his touch on
color
commentary.
You didn't want Taz or Golden Boy to upstage what possibly could have been Shivani. Sometimes that may happen,
which I think might be difficult because to me Shivani's my favorite commentator.
Shivani's doing great.
Same here, but you got some
dumbasses.
You got some dumbasses who might enjoy Taz too much where they might request it, or I mean, you don't want to, like if he's gone for a Georgia Bulldogs game, all right, cool, you got another job, that's fine and everything, but leave him open to the point where it's like people are not looking forward to, they're more so looking forward to him to come back, and people are not looking forward to who's going to be the guest commentator. That's the only logic I can bring into it. I don't know.
Yeah,
well, I honestly think they're prepping Golden. I honestly think JR is going to retire within a year to 2 years. maybe even less, maybe a year and a half tops. I think JR is going to retire eventually, and so he wanted to get
Well,
this.
eventually, everybody retires.
I'm talking about sooner rather than 5 years down the road. So I don't know.
He only signed like what, a 3-year deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think he'll run out that deal and be done on commentary after that.
Keep Golden Boy in the back pocket, and he's good.
And they don't have to. I mean, he doesn't have to do commentary the entire time. He could still do, all sorts of other things that AEW does too on the tail end of that 3-year deal. Main show, Full Gear. Great opener, Bucks, proud and powerful. That super kick sell by Ortiz was fucking great, wasn't it?
It looked like he just went straight epileptic.
That was weird.
It looked like he was doing the worm, but he was standing on his feet.
Dude was having entirely too much fun.
And how about old man Robert or Ricky Morton doing a goddamn destroyer over the top rope? I mean, granted, it wasn't as smooth but that dude's not young. So just the fact that he did it and then did a suicide dive, it's like, dude,
crazy ass rock and roll express, man.
Hey, if you gonna go out with a bang, man.
That dude can still do some moves. They're on NWA Powerrr too as of late, so they were fighting some people.
They're doing their retirement tour.
That's lasted 15 years.
Pretty much.
They're like Kiss. Yeah, that's our retirement tour. Yeah, right.
Wow.
But we don't want to see the shit. You hear the pop those guys get, man. There's still people that like them, and then they may not necessarily be people that followed them in the 80s like I did, and I like the Young Bucks shirt with them on it.
Yeah, I did enjoy that one.
That's a good.
I wouldn't mind having that in my closet.
So Proud and Powerful again. I like Matt said last week. I hate that name, but
just call them Santana and Ortiz.
I'm with that.
Seriously.
Fuck, call them the Exchange. A little playoff at LAX. Anything's better than.
They don't need to be cute with it.
No.
Like they're already essentially called the Inner Circle.
Yeah.
Due to the stable. Like they don't need this cutesy Proud and Powerful bullshit. It's just they're Santana and Ortiz. Damn it.
It's still real to me. Damn it.
Stupid gimmicks.
My dumb ass. I was like, where the fuck did they get proud and powerful? And then I just realized when their theme comes on, they sing it. It's the freaking chorus line.
Yeah. So an amazing match that went over 21 minutes to kick off the show. Good stuff there, and of course Ricky and Robert from the Rock and Roll Express helping out was a very cool moment. Big pop from the crowd, loved it. Then next up, Hangman against the Bastard, and again my favorite chant in professional wrestling right now is cowboy shit. I need to get that. I need to get that shirt eventually.
I want Hot Topic to start selling it.
Yeah.
I don't want any shirt that says cowboy on it.
Wow. Calm down over there,
Yeah.
sir.
I can't. It's against
not
my religion.
That
It's
serious.
it's blasphemous.
I don't think anybody's going to be chanting eagle shit in a wrestling arena anytime soon.
I know that, but still, I can't do it. It's against my religion.
That'd be pretty messy.
What'd you guys think of Hangman and Bastard before we really get off the rails?
Oh no, that was a good one. I enjoyed that one thoroughly, especially watching Paige break out of the brutalizer.
Yeah, that was one of the more cooler dead eyes that I've seen out of Paige too. To finish it off, they went 18 minutes. So here we are. We got 2 matches on the card, and we're literally almost an hour into the show. It's like, damn. Spears and Janela. Damn. Spears and Janela followed that up, which a great match in its own right. Small build, but this could have been a match maybe more on Dynamite at this point. But I think, as I said earlier in the show, these two guys have been performing well and are deserving a spot on the pay-per-view. So I think it was not a bad idea at all to get them on the show. And Sean Spears, look out, Sean Spears has now won 3 in a row. So after a rough start, Spears is turning it around. You never know where Spears might be lurking once those rankings come out. You think I thought that pile driver with Tully jumping off, that was pretty well done there. I like the use of Tully there.
I just like the use of old ass wrestlers.
That too. Especially when they can
think about it. You got Ricky Morton doing a damn destroyer.
and a suicide dive.
Yeah, and a suicide dive. You got Tully doing a spike pile driver. You had Arn Anderson, spine buster, Sean Spears. Think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. And I can't remember what match it was, but Excalibur was calling it a tope suicida, and JR called it a tope, something like a torpedo suicida. That was some unintentional comedy.
But Excalibur actually says, "I just like the saying topo suicida."
He's like, it's a suicide dive. Well, yeah, I called. Why don't you call it that? He goes, well, because that's what it is in Spanish. Oh, I love JR. That's great. Kip Sabian interviewed backstage by Golden Boy, and I just said a few minutes ago, I'm really liking the character development of Sabian, and adding Penelope Ford is definitely going to help.
I'm liking that it's seemingly that Golden Boy is edging Alex Marvez out of yet another job position in the company.
Good job.
Isn't that?
Because I enjoy Golden Boy as the backstage interviewer so much more than I've enjoyed the interviews with Marvez. So, saying.
Matt's just trying to push Marvez out of the company.
I thought he was fine as a backstage interviewer, but then I saw Golden Boy, and I'm like, Golden Boy's better.
Yeah.
You know?
Golden Boy's a little more professionally polished at that type of deal, so. Triple Threat Tag Team Championship with Private Party, SCU, and the Lucha Brothers. Thank God it wasn't Dark Order instead of Private Party. Good stuff. Again, I'm probably in the minority, or I'm nitpicking, but I want my triple threat matches to be 3 guys in the ring at the same time. I know there's two sides of it. I see people that like it as it is, but I like to see triple threat, 3 guys in the ring. I dug the lights going out and CD dressed as Pentagon. That was a pretty cool moment at the end, wasn't it?
Look, all I care about is the Fallen Angels back.
I think we're going to get somewhere down the line, probably on a Dynamite, I think we're going to get Daniels and Pentagon, and oh boy, that's going to be fun. That's going to be good. Thank you, Booker. AEW Women's Championship, again, you wonder why Riho gets such a gigantic pop for someone that was not globally known until now. Just watch her in the ring against her mentor and trainer, Emi Sakura. That was a damn good match. Daryl, you thought it was probably your second best of the night.
Hey, listen. Because you automatically think, okay, you got Kenny and Moxley. It's going to be some crazy shit. You got Cody and Jericho. It's going to be a great match. You got the Bucks in LA. Oh, I'm sorry, Santana and Ortiz. It's going to be a good match.
Call them LAX. It's okay.
Yeah.
We'll know who you're talking about. We'll know who you're talking about.
But, like, because and me and Matt were talking. Well, Matt mentioned this earlier. I don't remember if it was on air or a private conversation. But the women's division is probably the weakest division in AEW. With that being said, like, they surprised me with a very, very, very good match.
I just don't think it's very deep at the moment.
No, it's not.
Unquestionably, it might be quote unquote deep, but I don't think it's not star power deep. If that makes sense. They've got a lot of people that the average wrestling fan just doesn't know and they don't care about, and that's no fault of the talent. But that's on AEW to help us to get to know these characters better and display them more prominently on their television going forward.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, they need to do what they've done with Riho with the rest of the roster.
Right, and like you said earlier, JB, like, people didn't know who Rio was or Emi Sakura was. And to me, for someone that, for two women that people knew very little about, I won't say it surprised me, but they put on a damn good match.
Mm-hmm.
A damn good match. We already knew what was going to happen with the Young Bucks with Pride and Powerful. We already knew what was going to happen with Kenny and Moxley.
I don't think anybody really knew what was going to happen in that match.
Nobody really knew. But what I'm saying is,
it was going to be nuts.
Right? It was going to be crazy. My I guess why I say this is the second best match to me. I highly enjoyed it is because usually in past history, and let's just say WWE, let's just throw it out there, or even Ring of Honor for that case, like is always one match on the card that doesn't live up to expectations or it's just okay. Every match on Full Gear was great, and the women's match probably would have been your go to the bathroom match, but it wasn't. For me, it wasn't.
Just okay is not okay.
Right. There it is.
I didn't think there was anything bad on Full Gear at all. I thought top to bottom it was an awesome show.
2 matches left on the card, and as they announced, if it does go to the 60-minute time limit for the World Championship, there is a panel of judges that will make the decision, and that's a hell of a panel there. Dean Malenko, Arn Anderson, and the Great Muta. And to me, Cody and Jericho, I think, was my second favorite match of the night. It was a hell of a story. How the hell did Cody get such a gash on his forehead?
His face bounced off the
ramp.
walkway.
Okay. Here's a question I need to know.
Yeah.
Was he busted open the hard way or did he blade?
That was
he didn't blade.
That was the hard. Look at that mark that was on his forehead.
No, that was a gag.
All right.
He would have had.
I wasn't sure because Cody loves the fucking blade. Like let's not even freaking.
Yeah.
No, I actually rewinded it back and watched it.
That mark on his face is not a blade mark.
Okay, I honestly wasn't sure. I couldn't. I was not 100% sure if it was a blade job or not. So.
I felt like this was it lived up to the hype of a big match. It felt like a big match. The fact that MJF didn't really, the way that MJF cost Cody the match was something I didn't see coming. We all thought, oh, here's MJF gonna turn heel. What's he gonna do? He's probably gonna deck Cody or drop him. And that's where that's where him throwing in the towel instead was a unique way that I didn't see coming. Did you guys like the way that ended?
Yeah, the whole
to me, go for it.
How can I say this? To me, I'll understand it. Well, we're recording on Tuesday night, but of course, Dynamite comes on Wednesdays, and I want to see what MJF has to say as far as him being. I'll condone it if he says on Dynamite that he threw in the towel because he wanted to make Cody's life miserable or something to the notion.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
Well, the fact that Cody said he'll never challenge for the title again.
Yeah, and I think that's what I'm alluding to. Just to make him miserable or to sabotage him. So if he says that, then I'm cool with it.
Well, to me that's been the entire story all along. Was MJF kissing the boss's ass and waiting to pick his spot,
right?
Stab him in the back, like to the people who said, "Oh, this storyline didn't go on long enough." Motherfucker, this storyline's been going on for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Not
everybody just didn't see it.
The clock didn't start at TNT.
But yeah, exactly. Like this was the absolute perfect time to pull the trigger on this turn because this is when it meant the most. When was it ever going to mean more than the AEW World Championship? This made sense. The finish reminded me a lot of, if you remember Bob Backlund and Bret Hart
Mm-hmm.
at Survivor Series, and
Yep.
Owen convinced the parents to
Yep.
throw in the towel, and then he
Mhm.
celebrated afterward. That's what it reminded me of. Like MJF was almost in the role of Owen Hart. You know, he pretended he was being sympathetic and he was doing it for Cody's well-being, but really he was just doing it to make sure that Cody didn't become AEW World Champion.
Then he's like, I'm sorry, Cody. I'm sorry. Kick in the dick. That lion tamer looked brutal though, with like the way he had Cody's neck bent and his knee on his head. That was a great lion tamer. Well, okay. Did you think the guy throwing the drink on MJF was a plant? I kind of
It
felt
was
like
a plant.
okay.
Yeah, it was.
I felt like it was. I was like,
It was some indie worker from Atlanta.
I didn't care if it was.
Yeah, he worked security. He was working security at Starcast.
Yeah, okay. I didn't care if it was because I thought it was great nonetheless, but I felt it was planted.
My only worry about this.
It leads other idiots to do it.
Yes, exactly. I'm worried now because as a plant, AEW has now set a precedent that it is okay for a fan to launch a projectile item at a wrestler in the venue.
Oh, look at the NWO days. Holy shit.
Oh, I do. I remember it.
Mhm.
The night Hogan joined the NWO, that ring was full of trash by the time Mean Gene was done with that promo with the three of them. And I don't know if that's what they're trying to get back to. Which I mean, I guess it's fine. If that's what they're planning on, cool. But if they still have the mindset that they don't want fans throwing things towards the ring, it probably wasn't the best idea. At the same token, that dude nailed that drink on him perfectly.
Bullseye.
Perfectly. It was amazing.
I wonder if that's the same guy. I wonder if that's the same guy that tosses beers to Austin.
I hope they know the box of worms that they have potentially opened with this. That's all I have to say. Personally, I loved it, but there's some crazy wrestling fans out there.
To me, the only box of worms is going to open is MJF's dry cleaning bill.
True point.
Then we get the lights out match, and holy fuck! I mean,
what can you say?
Holy fuck! Fucking the broken glass. Kenny Omega saved the broken glass from the table that Moxley put him through. Fucking brilliant, because 99% of the people thought it was probably going to be thumbtacks, because that's overdone. The fact that it was the broken glass that they saved from the table, man. And once they started getting the barbed wire, man, they were cutting themselves like on their hands and shit. And God, their backs look so terrible. Those apparently those puncture wounds heal pretty quickly, because like the blood would stop pretty quickly, like on those guys. You could see you could notice on their backs like as the match went on. But fuck the like. Was it a sharpshooter that Omega had Moxley in, and Moxley had to crawl through the broken glass to get to the ropes for leverage to get out of that hold?
Mm-hmm.
Then the fucking mousetrap table. I was like, I noticed a mousetrap under the ring when Omega. I was like, oh, there's a mousetrap, and then he brings out this board with like 50 of them, and the fact that like only 3/4 of them went off when Omega got slammed in, and I'm like, shit, use that board again, man. And then the gold chain came out, and Omega's hanging Moxley. That looked gross. You know? Like the barbed wire shot, like Moxley got hit in the neck, the back of the neck. And, man, he was covered in blood. And then the contraption. What did you guys think of the contraption?
Creative violence. That's all I can say. That's a sick individual for whoever thought about that shit to create that shit.
And then we're getting good looks at what's underneath the mat on the ring. We see some more wood, as we have with Tommaso Ciampa what's the other match? Was it Lesnar and somebody? Where the wood got exposed from the ring. They've done it twice in WWE recently.
Yeah, Lesnar's done it.
And Moxley with the elevated paradigm shift to first off, that Phoenix splash looked like fucking Omega literally smacked his head on that wood. Like that did not look, unless he sold it really well, it looked like he really fucking hit hard head first onto that, which is probably a reason why he's not cleared right now. But Moxley getting the win after 30, almost 40 minutes of fucking violence. That's about all you got to say about that. And then at the end, Moxley looking at the kissing his barbed wire bat and looking into the camera and saying, "Be careful what you wish for, motherfuckers." What do you guys have to say about that one?
Instant classic. That was probably the most violent wrestling match I've ever seen in the 30 plus years I've been watching wrestling.
It's like they took Gargano and Ciampa and infinitely multiplied the violence on it.
They literally took ECW, CCW,
GZW,
Bloodsport with Jean-Claude Van Damme and created it all into one.
Man.
To me, it was the match that I expected from Moxley and Janela earlier this year.
Yeah.
We just got it months later with Kenny Omega involved instead.
It was like it's a match full of toys, but yet there was, just like Gargano and Ciampa, a hell of a story being told, and 40 minutes of. Renee Young's tweets were great. What the fuck?
Oh,
what the fuck?
Yeah, that's all I saw. I said, what the hell?
And then she's like, for the record, I don't like this.
I mean, honestly, would your girlfriend enjoy watching you destroy yourself in the wrestling ring?
Yeah.
Probably.
Probably, yeah. Just being honest.
Never mind. I won't ask that question ever again.
Man. So, overall, what'd you guys think of Full Gear?
I thought it was a huge step up from All Out.
Best pay-per-view AEW, bar none for me.
See, I don't know if I could put it ahead of Double or Nothing, but I thought it was a great show.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to think about Double or Nothing and all. I mean, we even almost count All In as kind of an AEW show too, but
I can't count All In. I can't count All In. I think that's unfair.
Nah,
All In was like a perfect storm, and if we're counting All In, I still have to say All In was just like my show.
Yeah.
All In was incredible.
All In, it was yeah.
What'd you do at Starrcast, Daryl?
So what's interesting was the fact that I was told. So where they had it at was at the Baltimore Power Plant, which is a big venue with a bunch of bars. They had it at Rams Head Live, which is also a big bar. But it was interesting because when you walked in, you automatically walked in. All the panels that were advertised were there. So once you paid for, which was weird as hell because you paid for like the platinum bracelet and the gold bracelet or what have you, but then if you bought like a day pass for Friday or Saturday, it said no panel shows included, but the panels were there automatically. So
that's funny.
Yeah, so when I asked around, I'm like, why did it say that in regards to, why do people pay X amount of dollars for?
Yeah, that's what I would have asked, especially if I'd have bought the bracelet. I'd have been pissed.
Well, so I found out what it was. So apparently they didn't know. I guess Conrad didn't know that the venue was going to be the way it was.
Like
and
all open space.
Yeah. So like from what I heard with like the past other Starrcast, the panels were in other rooms. So you had right. So you had your meet and greets in one area, and then you had your panels in another. So When I immediately walked in, I believe the Taz. This is I walked in. I think Friday at about 12:30 ish, and the Taz show was going. Taz was interviewing Jurassic Express. And I'm like, whoa, what the hell's going on here? Like, I got a panel show too. Like, they literally had all the chairs and everything lined up. So if you did pay for like a day pass, you got all the panels too. So, which was really really cool.
And if I'd bought a bracelet, I'd have been fucking furious.
Yeah, but I mean, the only thing you got with the bracelet, I think people just still didn't lose out because it, everything was included. So
But those bracelets weren't cheap. And if
no,
you're
they
telling
weren't.
me that I could have gone there for a fraction of the price and still seen the damn panel shows, I'd
Yeah.
be really annoyed.
Well, if you think about it, economically, you still got your money's worth because the night before, that Thursday, you had Shivani's birthday bash.
Giovanni!
Skivone.
Schiavone's birthday bash, and you still got to see, AEW wrestlers.
The
You
be-
got to hang out upstairs at Jimmy's.
The best part about that birthday bash is when MJF came to Shivani's table and he goes, "Oh, this motherfucker."
Yes, that was hilarious. But then also, like, you got to do the VIP brunch the morning after Starcast at Jimmy's. You got the VIP, the VIP. They had the after party. You got access to the after party and to the VIP area as well. So I mean, you still got your money's worth because they were charging like $75 for the after party at Rams Head at the same place that they had Starcast. So you still kind of got your money's worth. Now, if you were just going there strictly for panels, then yeah, you're shit out of luck.
Yeah,
But
that's what I'm saying. Because I'm
Yeah,
sure
but-
some people got those bracelets just for the panels.
yeah, but I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, it just depends on what you went for. I end up meeting Darby. I end up meeting Cody and Brandy. Moxley is a character. He is the same way that he is on TV. I will say that. They just had, it was nice. It was a nice little, it was kind of small, but you got your money's worth if you bought like a day pass, because even if you didn't get to meet and greet anybody, most of the meet and greets that were there, they were still cool as far as like, still saying something to you. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, I had a friend who brings her son to every wrestling event.
I
And
think I know who you're talking about.
yeah, you know who I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
And pretty much, she didn't even pay. She actually paid for him to go to meet the Lucha Bros. But when it happened after the fact was the Lucha Bros were at one of the vendors' stands and just talking, and he had on a Lucha Bros jacket, and he got a free picture again. You know what I mean? So most of the talent were just like really, really, really cool. Like, I can actually say I had a conversation with Eric Bischoff. How many people you know that can say that?
Yeah.
The Bish.
You know
Did
what I mean?
you guys see how MJF was signing his photos?
Dude, I was right there.
He signed one to Fat Boy, and another one was like he signed to this
no.
whore or something like that.
I got two stories for you for MJF.
Yeah.
Oh,
Actually, three.
Reno.
So here's
Oh.
one.
Triple header.
So when you walked in the venue, you had to go through a metal detector, but you had to go get your ticket you had to show your ticket to get your wristband to walk in. I'm walking past MJF as I get my ticket, and it's this little kid like just standing there waiting on his mom. He pushes him out the way. Second story. So I'm in line waiting to meet Darby Allin, and guy behind me was like, "Hey, did you see what MJF did?" Blah blah blah. I was like, "No, what's going on?" So they had the 50% off sale.
Oh yeah, I saw this on Twitter.
Yeah, so the guy literally, I didn't believe it. I heard the story, just in rumblings around the venue. And MJF asked the guy, "Well, hey, how much did you pay to meet me?" The guy says, "Oh, I paid $100." He says, "Oh, you did the half off sale." All right, cool. Tells the lady taking the damn picture, "Make sure you only get half of my face."
Yep.
And then he shows me the picture, and literally she gets half of his fucking face. So I was dying laughing. Now, this last story.
I'd have just told him I paid full price.
I would have too. I would have too. What's crazy? The last story is kind of fucked up, but MJF is gonna get his ass whooped or something after seeing this shit. So this young kid sitting in a wheelchair,
Oh God.
and MJF walks up to him and sits down. He sits down and says to the kid, "You know why I'm better than you?" The kid says, "Why?" MJF stands up and walks away.
Pretty sure he did something similar to that in Chicago too for All Out. I remember hearing a story similar to that.
Dude, that was MJF was in full blown heel mode.
That's what he did, dude. The dude lives the gimmick.
He's eating nachos, and the dude just looking at him. He looks at him and says, "Fuck off." Like, yeah, he almost beat when Taz was interviewing Jurassic Express. Marco Stunt said something to him. MJF literally came downstairs and was ready to beat the shit out of Marco Stunt.
I guarantee you, 75 to 80% of the people paying for this are paying to get ridiculed by MJF or treated like shit by it. They want to be treated like shit. They know what they're getting.
Daryl wasn't treated like shit by MJF. I told him, "Fuck you." But needless to say, Starcast. If you ever have a chance to go to a Starcast, I say go. I will say this: Matt has done it. I think JB's probably you've done it too.
Nah. I did Access. But...
Well, I'm saying the ROH meet and greets.
Oh yeah. When Matt and I went to Dallas, I did.
Right.
I almost did them all. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you guys have done Access. The one thing I will say, Starcast, why it does have the upper hand, it's more personal. It's more personal to the point. Whereas if somebody's standing there, just sitting there, just shooting a breeze, like I was standing on the bar waiting for Arn Anderson, and Bischoff was standing right next to me. I just, I said, "Hey, Mr. Bischoff, how you doing? Good to have you here." And
I did.
Shot the shit with him.
It's like the cruise of Jericho, except you're in a building.
Yeah, pretty much like you're rubbing elbows with your heroes, like the people you see on TV like every day. Like I'm a good friend with the Blue Meanie. Like
I wanna go on the Jericho cruise so bad. I have a couple friends that went on the first one and just telling me stories. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And of course he knows that one of my rock idols of today is Corey Taylor from Stone Sour and Slipknot. So he sends me a message while he's on the boat. Hey, look who I'm hanging out with right now. Like, you fucker.
Nice.
Oh, I got a great story though from ROH meet and greets. I've told it on the show here with Matt, but as I was taking a picture with Adam Cole, fucking Mark Briscoe photo bombs it. So I end up getting two pictures with Adam Cole, one with Mark Briscoe photo bombing it, and one without. I got one with Hanson and Rowe holding the tag titles. Let's see, Dalton Castle. It was great. That one was great. Access sucked.
Access is pretty much like a conveyor belt. They just
stood in line for 2 hours for Heyman, and then I get Darren Young and Zack Ryder.
I can honestly say, seriously, like I'm sitting there talking about sneakers with Santana because he had a pair of Jordans, and so did I. Mm-hmm. I'm sitting there talking to Ray Phoenix about the crazy shit that he's about to do the next night. If you can experience Starcast, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be the same thing as it was in Baltimore venue wise, but if you can, check it out, man. It's totally worth it. Like, it's really, really worth it. Like, it's cool as shit.
As we shift gears to NXT now, were you guys disappointed or perfectly happy with only the OC showing up at NXT?
I was fine with it,
and not more people.
Because you had so many different shows that were coming back, so you still had one more week of NXT.
Yeah.
And also keep in mind, if the only people that are going to be involved with Takeover is the OC, why have anybody else down there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't. These NXT guys are coming up to the main roster and attacking because they're going to be involved in Survivor Series.
Absolutely.
But like if Seth Rollins isn't going to be at Takeover, why is he going to show up at Full Sail?
But why not get it? Why not? But why not?
Behind it.
I'd like to see more retaliation, though. Is my point. Not just that they don't.
Well, they were also heading on an overseas tour.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That travel.
So
Saudi.
I'm sure they wanted his little people, having to make that trip from Orlando to the UK tour as humanly possible. So they
Yeah.
got it down to 3 people,
And then
and the NXT people that went over there with them, like Shannon Baszler and stuff.
yeah.
Bold prediction. Seth Rollins turns on Raw.
Be great if he
I
joins.
don't see that happening.
No, I
That's
don't.
that's why I said bold prediction.
Yeah, that's pretty damn bold.
Yeah, but I mean they really fucked him over in that Fiend feud, and that all his pop is gone now. So I why not do it? Turn him.
Why not do it? You
Why not?
cross brand. You bring
Yeah.
you let him fuck around with Kevin Owens.
NXT started out with the OC beating up the Undisputed Era backstage. I don't know what the hell Fish was holding, but it looked like his brain splattered on the trailer when.
He knocked his tooth out.
Oh, that was blood?
Yeah, he knocked his tooth out.
Ooh. I thought that was like something in his hands for effect. Like he
No,
was
if you
holding a
saw
drink or something.
they actually showed on WWE's YouTube.
So that was actually blood splattered on the trailer?
Mm-hmm.
That was
He went mouth first.
Yikes!
Oh, that was a shitload of blood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a lot of blood.
Oh.
A lot of people didn't notice that. I mean, I didn't really
Oh, I
notice what
did.
the splatter was.
I just thought it was
and
like a drink in his
I didn't
hand
go
or
back
something.
and watch it again.
Like,
So
I watched it twice, and it was no blood on his head. So then I actually went on YouTube
Mhm.
and saw that he lost a tooth.
I thought like he was holding like he had a smoothie or something, and when he got thrown into the trailer, obviously it smashed on there because that did not look like that the amount of blood. If that was blood, that instantly came just splattered on that. That was a lot of fucking blood, dude.
Well, the irony was, in the ring he usually wears a mouthpiece.
Yeah.
The one time he doesn't wear a mouthpiece, he gets his tooth knocked out.
No shit. Then the OC enter the NXT arena and are interrupted by Tommaso Ciampa. And the OC is like, well, there's only one of you and 3 of us. Well, then here comes the Limitless Bros to even up the odds, and that sets up the main event. Pete Dunne and Damian Priest. Eye for an eye, ball for a ball. Pete Dunne kicks Damian Priest in the nuts and gets the win, so now they're tied at 1. But then Killian Dane showed up and hit some Vader bombs. But
killed them both.
He didn't just attack Pete Dunne, he attacked Damian Priest as well. So
Well, he might not have attacked Priest if Priest wouldn't have gotten involved.
True.
So I mean, Priest was definitely making it his business, So that was kind of on him. Lesson learned: stay out of Dane's way.
One of the girls I like in the NXT there, Tayanara, she took on Santana Garrett, who of course came over from Impact, also lives in the Orlando area there. Tayanara with a quick win.
Not a good match.
But Dakota Kai and Shayna Baszler, Dakota trying to prove her worth to join the War Games team. Well, she didn't quite prove it there.
I thought this was Dakota's best match in NXT. So far.
It was a good match. I'm just saying the fact that she.
And I think she turns heel tonight.
The fact that she tapped out, and that's what I was saying. I wouldn't say that it was a bad match at all.
I think she turns heel tonight.
Yeah, that little interview.
I think she turns on Mia Yim in the ladder match. I think she's going to come out and cost Mia Yim the ladder match, and I think she's going to be the final member of Baszler's team.
That would that'd be a mind-blowing thing.
That's what I think is going to happen.
She was pretty pissed off when Rhea Ripley chose Mia Yim instead of her, so she stormed off. And
it makes sense.
Hell of a number 1 contenders match for the Cruiserweight title. Probably hell of a match with Tony Nese and Angel Garza, and just imagine what Garza and Lio Rush are going to do tomorrow, man, or tonight.
It's flippy shit.
Man, I'm a big fan of Angel Garza, though.
Yeah.
Swerve.
I like his in-ring work, but I'm so sick of the stupid pants gimmick already. So fucking sick of it. It's so corny.
Swerve took on Dijakovic in a pretty decent match.
This match was dope. That match was awesome.
I like how they're transitioning Swerve out of the Cruiserweight division because they know they've got a star. I love his entrance music too, man. I'm not a fan of Dijakovic's entrance music so much, but I'm a big fan of Dijakovic because, I mean, shit, him and Keith Lee have been tearing down the house all year. And then the OC taking on Riddle, Lee, and Ciampa. ended in a no contest because, oh fuck, Finn Balor is helping out the OC as Morrow said on the call, shades of from the land of the rising sun. Even though Balor and AJ never were in Bullet Club together because AJ took over after Balor left for WWE, but still, man. Oh,
Look! I'll just flat out say it. I'm sure this is what Triple H is thinking. What better way to combat the Elite on Wednesday nights than the Bullet Club?
Oh,
Yep.
Oh,
and if he can get Styles and Anderson and Gallows on NXT TV every week, I'll be damned if he won't make it happen.
Oh,
might as well.
I fucking loved AJ and the Good Brothers holding up the 2-Sweet while Prince has got the guns out, man.
Sun's out, guns out.
I fucking loved it, dude. So once again, a great Wednesday night of wrestling with Dynamite and NXT. Dynamite, as Scorpio would say.
Which is funny as hell because you hated that when he did it at DC. Yep. Now you're here over here doing.
Hey, I'm a Good Times fan, okay?
You hated it when he did it there. You were so mad.
Because I like to do it, damn it.
You were just hammered.
Yeah, I was fucked up.
Who's the last? Who do you guys think is the last member of Team Ciampa? Is it Gargano?
I think it's going to be Gargano because I think Balor's going to be involved in the match with the OC.
That makes sense.
Yeah. The only other one I can think of is Dijakovic with his ties to Keith Lee. They probably have a respect. They could work well together. Gargano is the obvious.
I think we're getting the triple. I think we're getting the triple threat with Dunn,
Dane, and Dijakovic.
Well, Priest is the guy that was in that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
You had the exact same train of thought that I did, Daryl, and I fucked up as soon as I said it. I don't know what they're doing with Dijakovic. He'll probably just be left off TakeOver, or he'll be a part of the NXT 5-man team at Survivor Series. Who knows?
So.
Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
I know nothing.
NWA Powerrr from last week. Power! We got the in-ring debut of Thunder Rosa. She is impressive. She's by far the best talent in the women's division there.
I would say so.
Some of you may know her. If you watched Lucha Underground, you'll remember her. She was Cobra Moon in Lucha Underground. Of course, the Dawsons in action. They've been feuding with Eddie Kingston and Homicide. They took on a couple of jobbers. And Marty Bell turning on her good friend Allison Kay and joining sides with Thunder Rosa. And Marty Bell and Thunder Rosa tag teaming up on this week's edition of Powerrr. I can only laugh. Aaron Stevens, every time he comes to the interview desk, I just laugh. And then he had a 2 out of 3 falls match with Ricky Starks, and he lost both falls, and it was like literally 3 minutes. It was Aaron is just getting
pretty embarrassing.
He is so good at the interview desk though, and oh man. And then we got a new NWA National Champion as Boom Boom Colt Cabana defeats James Storm in a
hate it.
Why?
Because I don't think James Storm should have had the job to Colt fucking Cabana.
Yeah. But as they say, once you lose that national championship, that's usually the ticket to go up to the big boy title. So
that's not the way they've been painting it on the show, though.
No.
They painted it on the show as the champ, as that who holds that title.
Yeah.
Is next in line to challenge Aldis, and I sure as fuck don't want to see Cabana and Aldis. God no! Please don't.
Matt's wet dream match right there. Aldis and Cabana. I watched some of Powerrr.
I will enjoy that program so much more once somebody beats Magnus for that fucking title.
Who do you think's gonna be the man? You think Tim Storm coming back or?
No, Tim Storm can never challenge for the title again.
Well, unless
Aldis, just like Cody.
But Aldis could be the one to say, "Hey, I'll let you do it." You know.
Oh, this is the one who set the stipulation. Why would
I
he
know.
do that? That doesn't even make any sense.
He respects Tim Storm.
No, that's dumb.
What about Eli Drake? Even though I guess he's a heel now. I thought they portrayed him as a babyface the first few episodes of Powerrr, but now he's kind of a heel. So who? I don't know. It's about. I think we need a few more episodes to kind of flesh things out. But
What the fuck are they portraying Magnus as? Because I sure as fuck can't tell.
well, I think you brought it up. Didn't you bring it up last week's show? You think he'll turn heel on Tim Storm? Like right now, he's the respectable champion, kind of a baby face.
Don't remember bringing that up.
Somebody said it then. I can't remember who. Who? SmackDown and Raw happened. They were pre-taped.
Moving on.
What do you think about? What do you think about? What do you think about New Day as your 7-time tag? I love the line by Big E saying that they're trying to catch Charlotte.
I'm fine. They clearly wanted more star power in the tag match Survivor Series. That's why they did it.
It's
I'm
obvious,
fine
yeah.
with it.
Considering they're in the UK, I think it was blatantly obvious who was going to be the NXT invasion during these Raws and SmackDown. And of course, it was Imperium. Though I going to Raw, I thoroughly enjoyed the singles match that Rollins and Walter had until the interference. Do you guys? I like it. Do you think there's long-term value with Cesaro, Nakamura, and Zayn forming an alliance?
Yeah, as long as they don't fuck it up.
At least it finally gives Cesaro something to do. So,
Don't fuck it up.
you know. And obviously, we got our next contender for Bray Wyatt's Universal title because, well, he picks it by attacking the guy, and that was Daniel Bryan.
The Bryan of Daniel.
That
was quite the swerve. Because I definitely thought we were leading to Bryan versus Nakamura, but clearly that's not the case anymore.
Well, we're getting all the secondary title holders in a triple threat match, so with Strong, Nakamura, and AJ at SummerSlam.
If they all hold the titles going into Survivor Series, we'll see.
Good point, because that tag title triple threat got changed.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's already been changed, and it seems like the every year they've done Universal Champion versus WWE Champion, that's changed before they've gotten there too. So, yeah, we'll wait and see if that triple threat actually stays intact right now. I'm not 100% confident that that's the match we're going to see by the time we get the Survivor Series.
Yeah. And Braun Strowman and Tyson Fury make amends, and they team up and destroy the B team.
Oh, Lord.
Carmella and Dana Brooke defeated Fire and Desire to join Team SmackDown with Sasha Banks.
Puke.
Was the Sasha Nikki Cross match to join the team too earlier in that night?
Not that I'm aware of.
I was wondering how Sasha was already in it. I wasn't paying close enough attention. And Baron Corbin beat Roman Reigns. Not clean, obviously. Because we ain't going to do that to Roman, are we?
No, we're not.
Yeah.
It was not like this was not a good UK tour for shows.
Trash.
At all.
Yeah.
Trash.
The tape, they seem to mail them in on these taped episodes, don't you think?
Pretty much.
It was on Raw. It was kind of interesting seeing Orton team up with Ricochet and Humberto Carrillo. But I guess brand supremacy, heels and faces are going to work together during this
especially
build.
on Survivor Series. Yep.
Sin Cara asks for his release, so he gets fed to Drew McIntyre. Yeah,
Why?
Hey, here's what I say. Daryl's idea of Rollins turning on Raw is perfect because the UK crowd was booing him. They again, as I just said, they fucked any pop he had. They fucked it up with this feud with the Fiend.
You know what that was? It's pretty much we got something with this Bray Wyatt shit. Let's put him at the top of the company. Yeah. And I get it. That's cool. But at the expense of Seth?
Yeah.
No.
So that's why I like your idea.
But look, no, let's not even go there, and let's not pretend like the plan was actually to put this title on the fucking Fiend, because it was clear from Hell in a Cell
Yeah.
that wasn't the plan that they were going with.
No,
He had no
I
choice,
agree with you.
but
I
due
totally
to
agree
the
with you
audience
on that.
backlash that they had to put the title on the Fiend.
That's what I'm saying. Like they went with what was hot at the moment when they
Which-
realized at the last minute that's what it was.
Which is funny because
But that's what
WWE.
but that's what they should do.
Which is funny because
And more
WWE
often
never
than not,
does it.
WWE digs their heels into the fucking sand
Yeah.
and fucking does whatever the fuck they want anyway.
Braun
So I'll
Strowman.
actually give them credit for actually realizing, damn, we really fucked up here. We need to freaking make it right. And they actually did something about it.
But
which
they've
is so rare from WWE nowadays.
True, but they've still killed any kind of heat or fire that Seth Rollins had as a babyface.
Just turn the fucker heel already.
I know. That's why I said
Seth
turn
Rollins
heel, go to NXT.
Seth Rollins is a natural heel.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason for him to be a baby face anymore. It's run its course. It's time to let him run loose as the heel that we all know that he is.
Seth Rollins is a natural heel, just as Matt Black is a natural asshole. It just falls together.
So you're talking about yourself now?
I have no idea what you speak of. I'm the nicest person you ever meet in history.
Bullshit.
Can we check the tape of all the weeks you called yourself the ultimate asshole?
True.
I don't remember. I don't recall.
Oh yeah, I bet you don't.
So as I mentioned, Walter and Rollins having a hell of a match before Imperium got involved, and making the save, the Street Profits, and then KO's music is KO getting a big pop, and then Teddy Long came out and says, "We got a tag match, playa." Then we had some stuff, and then we had some more, and then apparently Bobby Lashley Rusev feud is not over. Jesus, hopefully it's over after Survivor Series. I don't know. Then we got poor Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster got fed to the Viking Raiders. Hey, here's some NXT UK guys that are gonna die. And then the main event was Orton and Ricochet and Carrillo taking out the OC. So yeah, not exciting stuff out of the UK. Most exciting thing was probably the title change.
Yep.
Heading to headlines, when are they pulling the plug on Total Divas? As they pulled Impact numbers almost this week on last week's episode, 191,000. They were ouch. A couple of years ago, they were pulling in 1 million.
I guess Ronda Rousey doesn't equal ratings after all.
Yeah. And apparently nobody watches FS1 on late on. What the hell is that? What night is Backstage on? Is it?
I think that's Tuesday. Is it?
Yeah, because remember we were gonna watch it after we recorded, thinking that Bray Wyatt was coming out with a new title. Instead, we just saw side plates.
Yeah, that was very disappointing.
The official premiere on FS1 from the 5th, 49,000 viewers.
Yeah, look, like, as long as Total Divas is doing better than Backstage, I guess they're okay, right?
Yeah, that's a low ass number because all the preview episodes got a high number. So,
well, one of the preview episodes was also airing right after SmackDown too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at my guy right now.
And the other one
tonight.
And the other one, from my understanding, aired right after a World Series game.
Mm-hmm.
Or something like that. So they had good lead-ins.
Yeah.
And this one didn't. Like,
Plus,
they
it's
had,
late.
Like last week, they had like shitty college basketball that nobody cares about until March.
Yeah, and
that's exactly what's on right now. I just turned the channel on to see what their lead-in is, and it's college basketball. It's Butler against Minnesota, because I'm sure so many people are tuning in to watch that tonight.
Nope.
Whoever lives where Butler is, or in Minnesota, they're watching.
So you don't even know what Butler is either.
Butler's in Indiana.
Okay.
Look at you.
Those are two. I mean, they're two.
Look
good.
at you.
Those are two decent teams, so it's actually better than most games this time of year.
No, stop lying. They're not decent. Don't do that.
Well,
one team's 1-1 and the other one's 2-0. I don't know how you know it.
Butler's made a few deep runs in the tournament.
Yeah, that was 3 years ago.
Ali.
Guys, you guys are all showing your extensive NCAA basketball knowledge over here.
You want I'll bust out my bracketology for November 12th if you would like right now. But instead, I'm going to talk about Ali. Pretty cool to see the CBS Evening News a few nights ago. The CBS Evening News did a profile story on Ali and the stereotypes that he is shattering in the pro wrestling world right now. So it was pretty cool to see that get on the news there. MLW star Teddy Hart is visiting NXT in Orlando, probably just saying hi to friends, but
Hi.
I don't know. Maybe you never know. Jordan Miles was not at the taping, for those that are wondering, and yeah, I don't know what's that. I don't know what's going to happen in that story, but he's probably gonna have to sit and write it out for a little while. They ain't cutting him, are they? I mean, they don't want him to go anywhere else. So
You got Alito Rush treatment there, bud.
yep. As we said earlier, announced for NXT tonight, Mia Yim and Io Shirai. Ladder match, winner gets the War Games advantage, and for the Cruiserweight title, Angel Garza and Lio Rush. Yeah,
Roosh.
I like the not Rush. I like the idea of Dakota Kai turning heel. It'll be interesting because she's always.
I'll be shocked if that's not what happens.
I think just like Bailey, I think she needs a heel turn to kind of get her further established. I mean, Bailey didn't need to be established, but she was pissing in the wind for most of her main roster run. Am I not right? Am I not wrong?
You're not wrong at all, sir.
So
I love heel Bailey.
oh, heel Bailey's awesome. If you say heel Bailey fast enough, it sounds like hillbilly.
Wow. I'm kind of disturbed that your brain worked in that wavelength to figure that out.
Why are you not surprised though?
Yes, it is time to think about WrestleMania if you're going. The Ford Thunder Alley at the Amalie Arena is going to have the official on-sale party on tonight. So I guess by the time you listen to this, hopefully you're there. As the old yeah, it sounds like
I hope that's the sign of I'm done going to WrestleMania.
I am not done going to WrestleMania, and the reason why I say that,
You ain't going to Tampa.
well, here's the thing, I got spoiled in New Orleans. I refuse to go to a WrestleMania where it's an open roof stadium.
yeah.
I told you the one in New Orleans was amazing.
Well, you
Yes.
and Matt,
I didn't go to the latest one, but I loved.
Yeah,
and Matt warned you you're gonna
I
freeze
love
your
serving.
and Matt warned you you're gonna freeze your nuggets off in New Jersey. So.
well, Jersey, I wasn't gonna go anywhere because I hate New York. I hate that area. Like everything's so spread out. I'm not gonna go to Brooklyn to Barclays and go to Manhattan to Madison Square Garden and drive to Jersey and then get stuck like those pitiful souls who got let out of WrestleMania at 12:30 and didn't get home and weren't able to catch the train again until 4 o'clock in the morning.
And then plus you got anybody, and also for anybody that wants to go into any of those late night shows that they have after WrestleMania, there's plenty of wrestling shows still going on late into the night, and if you want to try to catch one of those, good luck in that when it's in that area.
I mean, especially like I said, going to Orlando was fine because you could drive everywhere and it's not the heavy traffic or dumbass drivers in New York. And then New Orleans, you could walk everywhere or just catch an Uber. So it was very accessible.
Yeah.
Tampa is probably going to be the same as Orlando, but I'm not going to sit in the open roof stadium where I'm cocking my neck to look at a big screen. And then because I have a big ass fucking 100-foot pillar in my face.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's where every WrestleMania is going to be almost till the end of time. Until they go back to New Orleans.
Or Dallas. Or they can go to the new Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta.
Dallas, I looked at the screen a lot, and I was even in the 200 section where, it goes up to like 400, I think.
Dude, New Orleans, the seats that I picked were under a overhang, and I had a monitor right in front of me. I didn't have to look at anything. All I had to do was look up.
Yeah, I would look down, like it was real tiny to watch, but I watched. I did not want to watch like Shane fall off the cell on a monitor. I wanted to actually see that with my own eyes. As small
Right.
as it was, you know.
Yeah, and then during in Orlando during the women's match, I was part of that crowd that got that green light of doom in my face.
Oh, that thing. That happened to people in at the Royal Rumble too, and when we were there in Arizona. That happened to some of the people that were sitting higher up too. You'd think they'd fucking learn by now. If you are looking for a reason to watch Ring of Honor, why? But they are now. Yeah, exactly. They're airing now on the regional sports networks of Fox. That began on Friday, November 8th. So yeah, I don't know what is there exciting in Ring of Honor nowadays.
I was actually asked, was I going to Final Battle because I didn't realize that was in Baltimore.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The fact
and
that you guys didn't realize that is funny.
I did not know
I
that.
know it's there. I just don't care.
Like I got that question asked, are you going to Final Battle? I'm like, oh, okay. What's the main event? When I heard the main event, I immediately said,
I've got
"Fuck no!"
I got that coming up here in later on in the stories here.
Oh, I can't wait to hear Daryl talk about it.
Yeah, we'll get there in a minute.
Oh,
Some
my
injury updates. Obviously, Sasha Banks cleared to return because she faced Nikki Cross. Excuse me. Alexa Bliss has not been cleared to return to the ring. Cedric Alexander is dealing with a minor injury, but obviously he was cleared to wrestle as he did on Monday. Xavier Woods expected to be back in the summer of 2020. WWE filed a trademark on Trent Seven, so they own him now.
Oh no!
Get well soon to a couple of ECW stars, both Jerry Lynn and Francine had to undergo some procedures. Francine had an abdominal reconstruction and a hernia repair, and Jerry Lynn he had an MRI. I think I have more on Jerry Lynn later, but I think he had to have some procedures done as well. So get well soon to those guys. This is so silly. So there's a lawsuit going on with WWE 2K and Randy Orton's tattoo artist.
So fucking ridiculous.
And so the new jury trial date of this is scheduled for June 1st of 2020. Wow. The lawsuit was filed in April of 2018, and so they're going to trial over 2 years later. What the hell?
This woman needs to give up.
Yeah, she's spending money like Colt Cabana.
And I don't understand it. And Daryl, as somebody who has a bunch of tattoos, maybe you can enlighten me on this.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm Randy Orton,
Mm-hmm.
and I get a bunch of ink put on my body,
Mm-hmm.
it's my body.
Mm-hmm.
It's my art.
Mm-hmm.
It is my determination if I want someone to use my tattoos in a video game or not the person who put it on me.
Yeah.
She's actually reaching. I do have a bunch of tattoos, and most of my shit is custom work. So, in the same light as Randy Orton, it's my body.
EA Sports went through the same thing with Kaepernick.
Listen, I paid for it, so it's my property. So it's just like saying, okay, the guy that tattooed me, if I take a picture, let's just say with my shirt off next to Matt.
Whoa.
No, just hear me out. Just hear me out. If my
Where are we going here? Where are we going?
Yeah, if my tattoos are exposed, that means that the guy that did my tattoos, and say it was on YouTube or say it was, on, social media. Oh, well, I'm going to sue Matt because Matt posted it. But at the end of the day, who's Matt standing next to? Whose body is it on? Who paid for the tattoos? If Randy paid X amount of dollars for the tattoos, and
which I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Sleeves
ridiculous. It's one of the
sleeves
most ridiculous lawsuits I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Bro,
it's like,
she probably made a bunch of money. Sleeves are expensive as fuck.
Yeah.
So for her to actually come out and
so
say,
there's your
"Oh, okay,"
there's your licensing fee right there. My payment
right.
for the tattoo.
Thing is, when Randy Orton paid the tattoo artist, Randy Orton paid her to put the ink on his body, so therefore he paid her to do work, which is his property now. Randy Orton is property of WWE.
Mhm.
Yep.
Therefore, she's not going to win this lawsuit.
Plus,
whatsoever.
you're going
It's the
against
dumbest shit ever.
You're going against WWE lawyers, so once again, I'll use the phrase: you're pissing in the wind again.
Yeah, I would certainly assume WWE's lawyers are in
Uh-huh.
Orton's
Right.
corner here.
I mean,
So
she must have she must have Cole Cabana's lawyers or something.
or Ronnie Cochran or something. I don't know. But I mean, the only way she can sue and probably win, and I'm being funny too, is literally if she drew up a tattoo, didn't put it on Randy, and then they found the tattoo or they stole the custom work and put it on the video game without it being on Randy, just placing it on him on the video game, which was not the case.
No.
Yeah, which is totally not the case.
Yeah, so she's stupid.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. She's literally just burning through money. Like
That's
you're in
on
a
her.
lawsuit that you can't win.
And again, this goes to trial over 2 years after you started it. So yeah, burning through money is an understatement here.
Most of those fucking people are doing. Most of those fucking people are doing that in the case in the event that the company that they're suing isn't willing going to really willing to go into trial, and they can settle out of court.
Yeah.
That's
Plus publicity, probably in a stupid
absolutely.
way.
I honestly think she's actually doing it, hoping or praying that WWE will settle out of court with her.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sorry about your damn luck.
There it is.
Thank you, James. Update on Jeff Hardy. He has another court hearing scheduled on December 5th in Moore County, North Carolina.
Someone get this man help, please.
The Wednesday.
That's all I asked for.
No, he doesn't need. He needs to go to jail.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Well, he'll have some help in jail. He won't be able to do anything in there.
Yeah.
That's my point. You got time to think about what the fuck you keep continuously fucking doing.
But here's the problem. Tammy Sitch has been doing something very similar over the last several years, and she's yet to get any extensive jail time. And if someone with her lack of funza is being able to get out of the court over and over again, I'm pretty sure Hardy's going to be able to get out too.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean,
yeah, he'll
avoid. He needs help.
He's gonna have to kill somebody. That's a sad thing to say.
But literally, Tammy actually spent time in jail.
Yeah, but very little.
That was for breaking
probation. More than what she spent.
That's for violating probation, though. I mean,
he's right.
You're kind of hard. It's hard to avoid. That's a quick ticket to jail if you're violating probation, no matter who you are.
Dude, that's my point. Like, he keeps getting out of jail. That's what she needed to chill out. Like, they sent her to jail for more than a month. He's not in jail for more than a month. He's probably getting a night's stay, if that.
He's not on probation, though. He'll get on probation here. That's guaranteed. But
you go to jail for one night, you ain't gonna want to ever go back again. He needs to go for a couple nights because he hasn't learned his lesson yet. Nope. Hopefully, Tammy has learned her damn lesson.
Fuck, she'll never learn her lesson.
I highly doubt it.
No. Ratings for Wednesday night, a big boost for NXT, as a lot of people were wondering what the main roster would do. Of course, we got the OC and Finn Balor pairing with the OC, which is fucking great. Nearly neck and neck for AEW and NXT here. Both saw increases, which is good. I like to see increase in live viewership on the greatest night in pro wrestling of the week. So I'm pretty happy to see the growth for both shows there. After the bell with Corey Graves discussed if Cesaro would go back to NXT. Do you guys think he should?
I think I hear enough Corey Graves on my television every week to want to have to listen to his ass on a podcast.
Well, I'm not asking about you listening to his podcast. I'm asking you, do you think Cesaro should go back to NXT? I needed to say,
you brought up his shitty ass podcast. I had to say my piece.
Well, that's where the question came from.
Well, there's my answer.
That wasn't an answer. Graves. That was just your opinion on Graves' podcast. So
if Cesaro wants to go back to NXT, let him go back to NXT. No one's fucking stopping him. Well, Vince might be stopping him, but you know what I'm fucking saying.
speaking of podcasts, if you want to hear more about the Saudi issues, Lawler discussed that in his latest podcast.
I see. I'd rather hear Lawler talk than Graves.
How about the Bucks again taking a shot at the WWE on being the elite this week? I put it out on Twitter. Nick Jackson makes a good WWE robot. Oh, that was hilarious. No, we're literally boarding right now, dude. We're being held against our will. It's our turn to board. I don't know. Okay, so the main event for Hard to Kill.
This is the match we all knew that was coming 3 months ago.
This article does not exactly say it, but they say the.
You want me to tell you what the match is? It's so fucking. I already know what the match is.
Is it Callahan and Tessa?
Yes.
For the world title.
Yes.
Okay.
And Tessa's going to win.
Oh fuck, that'd be great.
Like they don't even need to put that in the press release. I'm telling you right now, this has clearly been the plan since last summer when they had that match.
Yeah.
Well, not last summer, but several months ago. Like this is what's going. Tessa's going to win their world championship.
I watched that X Division match with Tessa in it from I think it was Bound for Glory, and she did a hell of a job. So that's gonna be fucking cool if she wins the world title.
Arn Anderson, Magnum TA, Ronnie Garvin, and can't think of who the other one. Oh, Lex Luger had a panel at Starrcast, and the question was asked to them about Tessa Blanchard. And Arn Anderson said he's not a big fan of the mixed tag matches, but he said that when the Horsemen were getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, it was around the time Tessa was. It was around the time that Tessa first started, and he pretty much said that she was following. She was on their their media tour, and it pretty much told her, it pretty much was her calling card into the business. Well, Arn Anderson also said that pretty much the reason why Tessa's doing a lot of intergender matches, especially in Impact, is because she's too intense for the females that they have right now.
Damn. What do you got? Start with
and real quick, he says on a collision course in the future, and hopefully we see it, and I know you both will want to see it, Charlotte Flair and Tessa Blanchard will be on the collision course in the next couple of years.
Oh fuck yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't put shit past anybody nowadays in wrestling. So
I think when Blanchard's deals up with Impact, she's gonna go to AEW.
I wouldn't be
so, and Charlotte sure is fucking leaving WWE. So I don't see Blanchard and Flair facing each other anytime soon.
Well, what do you start with Matt first? What do you got? What do you guys think of Tessa as world champion? To me, I don't think it's a publicity stunt because Tessa's earned it. So I think it's a great thing for professional wrestling. What do you think, Matt?
I think it's something different, and I think Impact right now needs to do something different in order to attract eyeballs to their product. So yeah, I don't have a problem with it. Like I said, I saw this coming from miles away over the summer when they did the first match, that this is the direction they were going to go in, and it makes sense to me. I don't have a problem with it.
What do you think, Daryl?
I think the same. Impact needs something to boost ratings because of course WWE was stomping on them. Now you got another company in AEW that's freshly getting started that's stomping on them as well. So
stomp them.
You know what I mean? They're like the sticky ass little bubble gum that you step on the bottom. That won't get rid of on the bottom of your shoe.
Yeah. And as we mentioned, now's the time to start planning your WrestleMania. So if you're going down to Tampa, the tentative schedule events for WrestleCon have been released as well. Starting on April 2nd, running all the way to April 5th, with the majority of the shows taking place at the Ritz in Yober City. again, like you guys were saying, it's just like Orlando. They're going to be spread around all the suburbs of Tampa. And then the convention's at George Steinbrenner Field. I don't know where that is exactly. I'm assuming that's probably in Tampa direct, but I don't know. Unfortunately, Luchasaurus, during the media scrum at StarCast, he said he's going to be out a couple more months and targeting January 2020 as his return to in-ring action as he's dealing with a hamstring injury right now.
Could be a lot worse.
Yeah. Thunder Rosa, we mentioned on NWA Powerrr, kicking some ass, taking some names. Well, she's kicking some ass for real as she made her MMA debut on November 9th. She at the cannot remember what the company was, but she lost a hard-fought 3-round decision from the judges. It was
Isn't that Del Rio's promotion?
Yep, Combate Americas, and
Yeah.
it was Del Rio's promotion. Happened in San Antonio, Texas. If you check out the NWA...
When is that fight between Del Rio and Tito Ortiz?
Oh God, does anybody care?
I kind of want to see for the train wreck that it could be, because Del Rio's putting his WWE title on the line in that match.
What does he bill himself as in the MMA world?
On the posters for this fight, he's labeled as Alberto Del Rio, and I don't even know how they're getting away with that. But he has, in the poster, he even has the WWE Championship over his shoulder, and they're doing title for title. Like Ortiz is putting up one of his old UFC titles against Del Rio in the WWE Championship. They're calling it like a winner takes all match or some shit.
December 7th at Combate 42.
Yeah, I feel like that's something I'm gonna have to watch. It's just the morbid curiosity has overtaken me for that match.
See, this is where
that fight, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
my newly set up dual monitors worked perfectly for that because is easily just to go over here. I love these dual monitors. As I was saying, go to NWA's channel on YouTube and you can check out an exclusive exclusive post-fight interview that the play-by-play guy Joe Galli did with Melissa Cervantes, who is Thunder Rosa. Oddly enough, regarding taped episodes, Friday Night SmackDown did not see the drop that usually you get on taped episode. They actually had an increase in viewership up to 2.6 million for the week. I don't think Raw's Fate was that great. I have it later on. This might be a better podcast for you to turn into by the WWE, Matt. I know you don't have give two shits about Corey Graves' podcast.
I do not!
But the WWE has applied for a new trademark for a second podcast, and that trademark is called The New Day, Feel the Power.
Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm. Feel some powers.
So it looks like Kofi, imagine E on a podcast where I don't know if they have to censor themselves or not, but on a podcast, probably with the WWE banner, they got to kind of chill out a little bit, but I don't know. If you watch AEW Dark this week, Taz is a guest commentator for that as well. And of course, he made an appearance in the buy-in. Man, Taz on commentary was gold, man, in the SmackDown days, and then in the Impact days with Mike Tenay. I definitely missed him on that. I'm not going to spoil it for you, or maybe it happened. I don't know. I don't know when MLW Fusion airs, but there will be a title change possibly coming up there. New table for 3 Out, featuring Bruce Pritchard, Shane McMahon, and John Laurinaitis, as they talk about the purchase of WCW.
WCW.
Looking through who's backstage at Full Gear. Well, it was no surprise that Great Muta was, because he was a judge. Northeast Wrestling promoter Mike Lombardi was backstage. What do you guys think about the old physical altercation between Excalibur and Jimmy Havoc? I mean, apparently the two sides have smoothed things over. I thought it was like, I thought it was a kind of a kayfabe type of deal, but
No, it's definitely not.
yeah, that was interesting. I guess they have smoothed over, but Havoc Havoc was going after Excalibur, and Excalibur put him in a chokehold or something. Wow.
That's what happens when you have open bar at Jimmy's.
Too bad Daryl wasn't in there to step in and break it up, but
Yeah, I would have.
and
I'm a little crazy my damn self. You know what I mean?
And something AEW is doing well is actually making stars out of the referees as well. And I heard a little note here for where they're at. Aubrey Edwards got a huge pop when she was introduced to the crowd. She's a hell of a referee, I'll tell you that much. I don't know much about this guy, but have you guys ever heard of Matt Travis, independent wrestler? He's worked up in the Northeast, so I was wondering if you guys had known anything, heard of him before.
No, sir.
Unfortunately, he's worked for House of Glory, CZW, and GCW. Unfortunately, passed away after a traffic accident on the 10th of November here, and a lot of the wrestling world posting their condolences for Travis. I was wondering, since he was involved in so many Northeast promotions, if you guys had heard of him before. Oh God, I got to the final battle matches.
Meh.
For the ROH Championship, Roosh against PCO. That'll put butts in the seats. Yeah. This one is a little better. Tag Championships, the Briscoes against Lethal and Jonathan Grisham. I said a little better. I didn't say, oh my God, I'm gonna resubscribe to Honor Club. Though I would love to see the numbers of Honor Club pre and post Elite.
You can count it on one hand.
Yeah. They still send me emails. Hey, as an Honor Club member, you get exclusive rights to get these tickets, and I'm like, you could get these hands. And on Angelina Love against Maria Maniac. Is Mandy Leon the champion now?
No, I think it's Kelly Klein has it again, doesn't she?
Oh, I saw her on Instagram holding a belt, so maybe she's challenging Kelly Klein.
I don't know. I don't follow Ring of Honor enough to tell you anymore. The last I heard, Klein
I figured,
Klein took the title from Love again.
I figured
That
you
place
might.
is gonna be so fucking empty.
I figured you maybe still followed Mandy Leon and her.
Well, I follow Mandy, but I doesn't mean I'm watching the television product.
Ouch on Cody Rhodes, 8 stitches on his forehead, and All Elite Wrestling put a nice graphic photo up on the Twitter for you. 8 stitches and let's see if I can read this here, costochondral separation. Sounds like some of the words that Britt Baker uses when she's getting ready to put her fingers in your mouth. Costochondral separation. Ah, ouch.
He busts his shit to the white meat. There you go.
No, rib separation is what that means.
Mm-hmm.
So, ouch. That probably didn't feel good. Yeah, Ring of Honor signed somebody that I've never heard of before, but Jesus Christ, he's huge. Dan Maff. Yep, I don't know who he is, but he looks like he's on roids.
Hashtag pin drop.
Hold on. You said Dan Math? M-A-T-H?
M-A-F-F.
Oh, I have no clue who the fuck he is. Never mind. Back to sleep I go.
Yeah. And WWE likes to pat themselves. They like to pout. They probably like to pout too. They probably like to pout too.
Vince loves to pout.
What do you mean? He likes to pout that he's paying $6 for a loaf of bread, right?
Goddamn, pal.
WWE likes to pat themselves on the back, and so they did with WrestleMania last year in New York, New Jersey. They generated $165 million for that area. John Cena's movie Playing with Fire landed 3rd in the weekend box office, drawing in $12.8 million. I can't even tell you what else is out right now.
Joker.
Well, yeah, that great movie making about $1 billion now. I think it's either approaching or very close to $1 billion right now. WWE has officially announced that the Stone Cold Steve Austin Broken Skull sessions will premiere on the network on Sunday, November 24th, which is right after
Survivor Series.
It'll feature a no-holds-barred one-on-one conversation with some of the biggest names in the WWE, and first up, Undertaker. Taker doesn't do too many of those things, so.
Not at all.
Sin Cara asked for his release. Exactly. All Elite Wrestling still not traveling westward, but they're heading south as they're going to be in Miami for Wednesday, January 15th at the Watsco Center at the University of Miami. So if you're down in the Florida region, tickets go on sale Friday, November 22nd.
Do that shit, son.
They need to start making their way out west, man. Midwest, specifically.
Like where? Nebraska.
You damn straight, man.
Oh, Lord.
More on Sin Cara. Word is that he's close with Alberto El Patron.
Okay, no more on Sin Cara. Next subject.
Yeah, he has interest in working for his MMA promotion, actually. Isn't he the one that, like, punched out somebody at catering once? Or am I thinking of a different master?
Maybe that was the old Sin Cara. I don't know.
The only Sin Cara I remember is the one that keeps botching moves.
Yeah, that's why they put in Hunico. Also added to ROH Final Battle for all 5 people that are going to watch a street fight between Bully Ray and Mark
He
Haskins.
said 5 people that's going to watch. Lord have mercy.
Well, he's not wrong.
The 5 people that are going to watch legally. How about that?
Wow. I have an interesting story, but I'm going to tell you guys off air about Ring of Honor.
Oh, boy. Oh, come on. Tell it on air.
I don't want to defame Ring of Honor.
Wow.
It's
that serious.
And the update on Jerry Lynn, he has a bulging disc in his back, set to have surgery on the 29th this week, and said it's only going to be a 3 to 4 week recovery, so then he'll be back on the road with the AEW crowd. Is he a producer? Yeah, he is a producer right now with those guys.
Yes, he is.
And finally, to end up headlines, Raw dropped down to 2 million on their taped edition. So let's close out the show.
We have a question,
with
sir.
a little mailbag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was getting there. I had it pulled up here. So
Okay.
read away, Daryl.
All right. So we have one question from Mark Cho.
We're gonna call it the Mark Cho mailbag.
The Mark Cho mailbag.
We just need to advertise the mailbag more throughout the week instead of just the day of the show, and we'll probably get more questions.
Well, you all have access to the Twitter too.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying too.
I have to actually remember the password.
Well, don't give it out on the show.
Oh God! Oh boy! Yeah.
The password is
1 2 3 4.
1 2 3 4.
Well, I was just gonna say 1 2 3 4 because
Okay.
Oh Lord.
Mark Cho asks, "Do you think the main roster would be better under Triple H, or would NXT suffer?"
I definitely think the main roster would be better under Triple H because we see it on NXT every week.
But will Vince still have the says? Is the problem?
Vince has to die before that happens.
Sad but true.
Yeah. I don't think NXT will suffer because of who Triple H
would Regal be next in charge, kind of there?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it'll be Regal or. Shit, it might be Sean. You never know.
Oh, yeah. It could be Sean.
You just never know. I mean, I think NXT would be fine. I think that'd be fine.
I mean, everybody's wondering, and they thought maybe once this whole, they were wondering why didn't Triple H get considered for these executive producer things, and well, Bischoff got tired after 2 months, so maybe that's why Triple H's like, I'm good where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would. Yeah, I don't know if it would suffer because there's still going to be lines of communication, and Triple H isn't fucking things up like Vince
Nope.
is, where the
What do you
main
mean, pal?
the main roster may be slightly better, but you still have Vince. On the flip side of things,
Oh,
NXT
my
can
shit is great.
yeah, it's all good shit, pal. NXT can still go to Triple H if they need to, and where Triple H has to go to Vince. So, will it be better slightly? NXT suffer? No. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, like I said, I don't think NXT would suffer, and I definitely think the main roster would be better under Triple H.
Yeah, that's
Like
it.
I don't really think that's much of a question. You can do better than that, show.
Oh, calling out the show.
Ooh.
I'm just telling him he knows,
He's-
and he knows it. He'll admit it to me when he hears the show tomorrow. They'll
He
be
said,
like, you know what, you're right. I could have done better. I'll give you a better question next week.
He
That's
said,
what he's
get your
that's what
shit
he's gonna
straight,
tell
son.
me. That's what
Get
he's
your
gonna
shit
tell me.
straight, son.
I have faith in the show.
I have faith in all our other listeners knowing damn well that they can ask a damn question too. I challenge you to stump us with a question.
We had quite a few.
Get some questions in the mailbag, you sons of bitches.
We had a good amount the first week we did this, and yeah, then it's become the Mark Show mailbag, which I'm sure he prefers.
I'm sure he does, but
Yes.
we need a little bit of variety.
Yes, email litmcpodcast@gmail.com. Get your questions in. We will answer them. That's going to do it for this edition of Lost in the Midcard. Thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes, Spotify, and any of your favorite podcasting apps. Do a search for Lost in the Midcard. Hit that subscribe button. That way you know when a new episode comes your way, typically every Wednesday. And you can also subscribe on the YouTube if that's your flavor for listening. And the links to all that are on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard, as well as Twitter at LITMC Podcast. You can follow Matt on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime. Daryl's on the Twitter at No One Like D, and I'm on the Twitter at JB Huskers. And before we go riding off into that sunset, Matt, what are your final thoughts?
I really want a strong episode of Dynamite tonight to follow up the pay-per-view. Can't rest on your laurels with the NXT hype building up going into Survivor Series. I feel like the ratings might be even closer than they were last week. You need a strong show to try to continue to pull yourself away from the black and gold brand again.
Oof, those ratings couldn't get any much closer, like 12 grand. What would you like to see? Anything specific that, anything specific you want to see out of this show?
I want to see the fallout between MJF and Cody.
Mm-hmm.
Probably more so than anything. I want that ball to get rolling. We haven't seen a lot from MJF in a wrestling capacity on Dynamite, and I think it's about time we start to see that.
Daryl, what are your final thoughts?
Roosh and PCL is a fucking main event.
At one of the big 2 or 3 pay-per-views they
Dude,
have.
how in a matter of a year's time or a year's span do you go from the Young Bucks or Cody main eventing to Roosh and fucking PCO? How? Those are my final thoughts.
Impact is looking like a better, more competent company than ROH right now.
I would absolutely agree with that.
That's scary.
And it is scary. Why how the mighty have fallen.
My God.
Yeah.
My God.
Great stuff all around on Wednesday from both shows. Great stuff this weekend from AEW. Again, pro wrestling is great, at least on Wednesday nights. So I'm happy with that, and keep on doing that, guys. For Matt Black, Daryl Bullock, this is Jeremy Bennett. Thank you for tuning in to Lost in the Midcard. We'll catch you next week.